In putting together the many pieces of this very complex puzzle of our healthcare system, one piece of the puzzle has eluded me, and that is the ethics of the pharmaceutical industry and its allies on Wall Street.
There seems to be a double standard here in America. If someone hurts or kills someone, they're held accountable for their actions. Yet when the pharmaceutical industry promotes drugs that have lethal side effects and have killed hundreds of thousands of Americans, they are not held accountable.
How many times have we heard an announcement that a miracle drug was coming for heart disease or depression or some other condition? It comes, the company makes tens of millions, hundreds of millions, even billions of dollars in profit from that particular product. And then somewhere down the road we find out that there were side effects and people died.
Should there be a higher standard of accountability for people in the healthcare business if they do something that is wrong, that is not in the best interest of patients? Of course we should, because we're not dealing with commodities, we're dealing with the nation's health and patients' health. And to the extent that the relationship between a doctor and a patient is so important and so confidential, any kind of a breach of that trust is something that we should be terribly concerned about.
How is it that Martha Stewart could go to jail for 6 months for lying and forever be branded with the moniker of ex-con, and yet the Fortune 500 companies, including Wall Street houses, major banking houses, and many pharmaceutical houses, have repeatedly broken the law, paid enormous amounts of money, and no one's held personally accountable, and their reputation is unsullied?
Something's wrong with this picture, and I think we need to have an honest debate in this country about how to change it.
That's a piece of this puzzle that is just confusing. It's as if we have a double standard when it comes to the value of life, to the severity of crimes, and who ultimately is held accountable.
We're looking at a systematic failure in the entire healthcare system, with so many entities profiting of the existing system that it's very hard to effect change. But I think we can effect change. We're going to have an explosion in elderly people. Those elderly people will need health care. The costs are going to explode. People are not going to want to pay higher insurance premiums and taxes. So I think the people who watch this, together with politicians and others, can actually effect change.
I was drinking 20 cups of coffee a day, and I was using this, of course, putting in the hours and not doing any exercise or getting any energy from the food that I was eating. I was always tired. I began to feel dizzy. If I walked even more than the 3 blocks, I was out of breath when I walked the 3 blocks to the subway, but if I did any strenuous work at all, I would immediately become short of breath. I decided to check that out, and I went to my primary care physician. He gave me the blood pressure test, said that I was 150 over 110, also gave me a cardiogram, then called me into his office after he looked at the results of that and said, "Jim, we're looking at possible angioplasty." He wrote me a prescription for atenolol, which supposedly lowers your blood pressure. I called a friend and they said, "Jim, if you're going to do something else, do it. Don't take that medicine right away, because once you're on it, and you have to keep taking it." I decided that that was kind of a wake-up call from someone telling me this is perhaps the right time to make some changes in your life before it's too late and before I have to start thinking about angioplasty. And that's when I started on what I consider my road to recovery and my road to a wholesome life. By stopping, of course, the coffee and the milk and the sugar that came with the coffee, cutting out meat completely, increasing the vegetables, starting to take the correct kind of supplements, I began to see my energy come back. Not only my energy come back, but my mental energy come back. I began to become more alert and remembering things more. Gradually, it started to reverse itself, and I began to feel, that I'm living again.
Come on, come on, come on. Up, 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 up. Beautiful.
Today, I am 66 years old. My life is just beginning. If there's anything I've learned, it's that it does not matter what other people say or do. What matters is how I choose to react and what I choose to believe about myself.
We have to make choices. Be proactive. Get involved in your own health. I'm Gary Knoll. Thank you very much for watching.
You've got a headache, and I've got some strange disease. Don't worry about it. This pill will set your mind at ease. It's called Progenitorivox. It's made by Squab Merle Co. It's a life-enhancing miracle, but there are some things you should know.
It may cause agitation, palpitations, excessive salivation, constipation, male lactation, rust-colored urination, hallucinations, bad vibrations, mild electric shock sensations.
But it's worth it for the drugs I need. My disease may not be fatal, but I can ease my fears by taking 2 $12 pills each day for 50 years. They've spent billions to convince me, so now I realize Progenitorivox beats diet and exercise. I've got insurance, at least for now I do. And if I bought generic, it would cut my costs in two. But I want Progenitorivox, 'cause I saw it on TV. Those families look so functional, that Paisley pills for me.
But it may cause deprivation, humiliation, debtor's prison and deportation, dark depictions, dire predictions, life as seen in Dickens fiction. Empty pockets, court dockets, may cause eyes to pop from sockets.
But it's worth it for the drugs I need.
Thank you for viewing Prescription for Disaster. In order for real change to occur, we need your help. Please visit www.medicinereform.com to learn how you can become involved in creating a healthier America today. Register your name to receive the latest updates on how you can make a difference, and sign the petition calling for change. Together, we can put an end to the overmedication of Americans. Thank you.